Good afternoon, students. My voice is audible. Can you please confirm? And can you see my screen? Yes, students, can you please respond? My voice is audible. Can you see my screen? Yes, students, can you respond? My voice is audible. Yeah, can you see my screen? My voice is audible. I could not able to hear from your end, students. Can you please respond?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, fine. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, fine. So you can mute yourself. So let me wait for a few other participants. So once they join, I'll start the session. The students who have requested for this virtual access, we are going to share the data in the WhatsApp group. So, okay, nothing to worry. So meanwhile, students who have joined the classroom or who have joined the meeting, can you please go to the problem statement. So it's a problem statement which are going to discuss in today's class, right? This is a problem statement.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in virtual means whenever we want, we can, sir.
No, whenever you can't do it
System.
because your system has to be start. We need to log out. We need to power on the systems. So once the system is on, then only you can access. Okay. If the system is
Yes.
shut down, you can't access. The system should be turned
So
on.
within time we have to use, sir.
Yes. Within 4:30, you have to use it.
Okay, sir.
In case you want the system in some additional time, probably can give a request. Based on your request, we'll give access to the system. Is it fine? But as
Yes,
on
sir.
so as on today, within 4:30, you need to shut down the systems. We need to shut down the systems. Okay. So any other day you want your system, yeah, we'll provide. But before that, you need to inform us.
Okay, sir.
So let me wait for a few other participants. Okay, I have a good count. The count is 44. Okay, fine. So let me start the session for today's class. We are going to discuss program number 6. Okay, we are going to discuss program number 6. Are the right students? We'll be discussing program number 6. So let us read the problem statement. Here we need to create two files. The first file is XML file, and we need to create one more file, that is JSON file. The two files we need to create. And what's the contents of this file? The both files should contain city name, latitude, longitude, temperature, and humidity, right? So XML file should have all this data. Not on XML file, my JSON file also must have all this data. Okay. Now what I need to do, I need to develop an application to create an activity with two buttons. Okay, this is an activity. So this is an activity, right? You see that I've created an activity. This is my first activity. So in this activity, what they're telling that I need to create two buttons. I need to create two buttons. So this is my button 1 and this is my second button. So using these two buttons, what I need to do, so using the button 1, I need to pass XML data, and using this button 2, I need to pass JSON file. So when I need to pass, so once I click this button, so once I click this parse XML data, the corresponding result has to be displayed. Okay. And similarly, if I click this button, parse JSON data, the corresponding result has to be displayed. Okay. Now, actually, what is this parsing is all about? You see that here, students. So let me move back to this files. So as I said that we need to create two files, right? So one is XML file and one more is JSON file, right? Now let us see. So what this file should contain? This file should contain city name, latitude, longitude, temperature, and humidity, right? Now, how to create an XML file? That's what we need to discuss. Probably about this XML you'll be studying in your 7th semester, right? So this is a code which illustrates how to create an XML file. Okay, let me illustrate this XML file. Now, you see that now. 1 second, students, 1 second. Yeah, fine, students, I'm back. Now, you see the students, so here we need to create an XML document. So whenever you want to create any XML document, you should begin with XML version. Okay, you should write XML that is less than question mark XML, and it gets version is an attribute, okay, equal to the value is 1.0. So I'm trying to use XML version called 1.0. Okay, this is standard. So same fashion you need to write it. So whenever you try to open any XML document, you can see this statement. This is the first statement you can find in any XML document. Remaining everything is your choice. However you want, you can write it. As you see in the question clearly says that, let me clear my drawing. So let me move back to the question. In the question, you see that it says that what my XML document should have. My XML document should have city name. Anyhow, let me write it instead of displaying that one. Let me do here. Say probably you can know. Yeah, you see that. See, from the question itself, we can develop an XML document. And let me open a notepad. Let me try to open a notepad. Open a notepad, and let me share my screen, complete screen, so that we can see that. Yeah. I hope students, you can see my screen. Okay. So XML document less than question mark followed by XML. Then you write version. Version equal to, the version is nothing but is 1.0. 1.0. So once you finish with this, you need to close it. Okay. So like this, you need to begin with your XML document. So once you begin this XML document, they are telling that my XML document should contain the following data. It should contain the following data. So let me put this data. Let me put this data. All right. So how to write an XML document? See, XML document contains tag. XML document contains tag. XML document contains tag. What type of tag is this? All these tags are user defined tags. User defined tags means user can define his own tags. So right now you see that, say anything which is a tag. So anything which is a tag must be placed in this angle bracket. Okay, in this angle bracket, we need to place this tag. We need to place the tag inside this angle brackets, right? So what my XML document contains? My XML document contains tag, and all these tags are user defined tags. So whenever you want to write any tag, the tag should be written inside this angle bracket, right? Now, what tag name I want to pick? So my question says that it should have a city name. So let me replace with city name, and let me remove this. It's not required. Okay. It says that it should have a city name, right? Now, so what's the name of the city? Let me take the name of the city as Mysore or Bangalore. Bangalore. Okay, you see the students here, open the tag. So any tag which you open, it is mandated that you need to close the tag. Okay, in order to close the tag, just you need to include this backslash. This backslash indicates that you are trying to close a tag called city name. Here you see that here I'm beginning with the tag called city name, and then I'm trying to close this tag, right? So how to close? In order to close this tag, I should use this backslash. So within this tag, I'm going to specify the content. We call this as a text. So within this tag, I mention the text. And what text I mentioned? I mentioned a text called Bangalore. Bangalore, right? Yeah. So I finished with city name. So similarly, what I should do? Similarly, I should do for latitude. My question says that my XML should have this latitude, right? So any tag which you open, what I said, you need to close it. You need to close the tag. So close the tag. So within this tag, what I should do? I have to mention some latitude value. And let me pick some value called 70. So there's no constraint, student. You should pick 70 only. It can be any value of your choice. So I finished with latitude. And similarly, what I should do? Similarly, I should do with longitude. So let me do it longitude. So here, open the tag called longitude. So any tag which you open, it is mandated that you need to close it. So I close this longitude, right? So inside this longitude, what you can put, any longitude value you can put it. Let me make it as 30, and okay. And next, what I should include? Next, I should include a temperature. I should include temperature. And temperature, let me put as 25. And let me, so any tag which you open, what I have to do? We need to close it. So let me open it. Let me close it. So I have closed the tag called temperature. And finally, what I should do? Finally, I should include humidity. And humidity. Let me open the tag called humidity. Students, I request to mute your mic. Please don't talk. When is saying mute your mic. Yeah, humidity. And let me put humidity as some value, 90, some arbitrary value I'm taking, right? So any tag which you open, we need to close it. We need to close it. Right, students. Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, instead of temperature, could I also say temp, just temp, or for longitude or latitude, could I use short forms?
Yes, you can use short form, but the question, yes, you can use short form. There's nothing wrong, because in the question, as you see that in question, they said that you should have city name, latitude, longitude, temperature, and humidity, right? See, it is better to you pick as latitude. If you write lat, what it means, you can pick it. There's nothing wrong. Okay, since you're written, you can understand. Let us assume you've written this code. Let us assume you've written this XML code. And tomorrow I came to your company. Now I want to go to your XML document. If I see lat, what this lat means? It's incomplete. If I put latitude, then I can easily make it out. Okay, 70 is nothing but it's a value of a latitude. So writing a complete name is a good practice. You can write lat also. There's nothing wrong, because that's what I said. All these tag names are user-defined tag names. It is up to the user, however you want to write the tag name, right? Probably you can write L.
Yes, sir. How does the parsing take place, sir, in XML?
Still I have not started.
Because we are giving our own names, no, sir.
1 second. Still I have not started, right? Right now I'm discussing with XML document. So once I start with parsing, and then you can ask the question. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Yeah, that's good. Okay. You see the students. So the question says that it should include city name, latitude, longitude, temperature, and humidity, right? So that's what I've included all these XML tags. I've used all these XML tags. Okay. And so now the question says that what I need to do, I need to parse this XML document. I need to parse this XML document. And before that, you see that everything represents what? This everything represents information about a city, right? So this everything represents information about a city. So therefore, what I can put, let me write scene calculator. This everything represents an information about a city, right? Is it true, students? A city will have city name, it has latitude, it has longitude, it has a temperature, it has a humidity. So therefore, so everything written inside the city. Is it fine, students? Yeah. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's right. Now, this entire city, you can consider this as a place. place. See that? You see that? This everything. Place will have city. Let us assume city. See that how nicely I've typed C. Place. Place is nothing but city. What a city will have? A city will have all these things, all this information a city is having, right? Now, what is the root element? Place is my root element. So under this place, I have city, and this I'll discuss later. So this, so you can define an XML document. There's no constraint that we should write like this only. But you see that the XML document, what it has been mentioned here. Yeah, you see how he has mentioned here. Yeah, you see that here. But I'm not happy with what is mentioned here. See, you see that student, this everything is entered data. This entered data, they're placed where? They're placed inside this employee. See, that is not correct because this information does not speak about employee. Is that right, students? But even though you write employee, but still your program works. Okay, but when you're writing, that's what I said. All these tags are user-defined tags. The tag name can be any tag name of your choice. But writing an employee is not correct. Why? Because all this information does not speak about an employee. All this information speak about a city. Okay, so that's why instead of writing an employee, this employee can be replaced with city. Okay, employee can be replaced with city. But if you want to write employee, you can write it, but that's not correct as per my knowledge. Okay, now this entire city, right? Now this entire city can be considered as one record. This entire city can be considered as one record. So therefore you see that he has placed everything. So therefore you can see that he has placed everything inside this record. I can write it record, that's fine. I have taken it places, but here is taken as record. I hope you are not confused. Right, students? And let me pull that screen, what I have written. Yeah. So this is what I have written it, right? Let me clear my drawing. So that's what you should see the difference. He has taken records. But instead of records, I have taken it place. He has taken employee. But instead of employee, I have taken city. Why I have taken city? That's what I said. All this information is speaking about a city. All this information is not speaking about an employee. So writing an employee is not correct. But still the program works because it is an user-defined tag names, right? That's one important thing I'd like to highlight. But anyhow, you understood, right? See, students, when you're trying to write an XML, these are you need to write it. You see that how we have left some intent. You see that intent is writing an intent is very, very good practice. Okay. So by seeing that, you can easily make it out. How I can make it out? There is a place. So what places I'm having? Places is a city. Okay, city. In the city, I'm having the following data. Let us assume I want to add one more place. So in other words, I want to add one more city. Let me put here. See that I can write one more city. Let me maximize. So see that I can write one more city. Now I can change Bangalore to Chennai. And then I can change some value to some 60. I can change some 50. I can make some 45, and I can make some 40. You see that place? I'm having two cities. This is city 1, this is city 2. Okay, what's the information I'm having with city 1? These are the information I'm having with respect to city 1, and this information I'm having with respect to city 2. So like that, you can write your XML document. But right now, the entire XML concept is not present in your 6th semester. Only one thing you need to understand here is you need to parse your XML document. Anyhow, let me replace with record. This first record. Where's my record? I find it can be anything. Okay, the choice is yours. Okay. I hope you understood, students, what is an XML, how to write an XML document. You having any questions with respect to writing an XML document? It doesn't matter whether I record or place. It can be anything. Place. Okay. I think this is very important. You see that my city is beginning here. It is beginning here. Where it is ending? Here I have closed. You see that here I have closed. Therefore, my city is ending here. Within this city, what I'm having? I'm having city name, which is beginning here. Where it's ending? Here it's ending. Similarly, I have a latitude ending here. I have a longitude, it is ending here. I have a temperature ending here. I have a humidity, which is ending here. Okay. This entire city has been placed inside the place. So that's why you see that my place is beginning here. Where it is ending? It is beginning here. It goes. It is ending here.
Sir, XML is case sensitive, no, sir?
Yes, you are correct. It's a case sensitive.
Yes, sir. The place tags are not proper.
Yes.
Sir.
Sorry. Oh,
The
that's
place tags,
oh,
sir.
P. Okay, okay, fine, fine. So okay, that is P. Yeah, it's case sensitive. That's correct. That's fine. Okay. Okay, fine. I hope you understood this XML document, right? Students, you have any questions with respect to XML document? There's no questions. That's well and good. Right? Any questions, students? There are no questions. That's well and good. Okay, so now what do you mean by parsing of XML document? So now you see that an XML document, this is an XML document. What this XML document contains? An XML document always contains information. An XML document always contains some information. An XML document always contains information. We call this information as data. An XML document always have some data or some information. Okay. Now I need to extract this data. The data which is present inside an XML document, I need to extract. So extracting the data in an XML document, we call it as parsing. What is parsing? Parsing is nothing but we're trying to extract the data which is present inside your XML document. So what data is present inside this XML document? So in this XML document, I'm having a data called Bangalore. So I'm having a data called Bangalore is a city which is having a latitude at 70, longitude 30, temperature 25, humidity is 90. So this information I need to extract. Is it right, student? This is the information I need to extract from my XML document. In other words, that's what this parsing means. The parsing is nothing but this entire data, what I do, I need to extract. I need to extract from my XML document. Extracting data from an XML document, we call it as a parsing. So how this can be done, we are going to see in today's class, right? That's fine. Yeah, that is one thing. Okay, that's fine. Now, that's what it is. So now what's going to happen? You see that, you see that I'm having the values. Okay, once I click, okay, this is an activity one. So now with respect to this program, I need to create two activities. This is my first activity and this is my second activity. I need to create two activities. My first activity is having a text view. I'm having text view. What's the word text view? That is parsing XML document. It has two buttons. One is parse XML data. The second one is parse JSON data. So once I click this button, what I need to do, the XML document which I've shown just now, okay, is the XML document which I've shown. Once I click this button, I need to extract the data which is present inside this tag, right? So once I click this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to second activity. If I click this button, I'll be moving to the second activity. So once I move to the second activity, in the second activity, I'm going to display the information which is present inside my XML document. So what information is present inside my XML document? That is city name, latitude, longitude, temperature, humidity. You see that all these values I'm trying to display. That's what this program all about. Okay, now if I click the second button, I need to pass JSON file. So just now I've shown this XML file. So parallel to XML file, there's one more file called JSON file that I'll discuss at the later point. So once I click this button, what's going to happen? It will take me to the second activity. So inside the second activity, again, I need to display the same information. Okay, same information under this JSON data. Okay, that's what this program all about. Now let me ask a few questions. I think this I've discussed in my previous class. Now how to move from activity 1 to activity 2? Now I want to move from activity 1 to activity 2. How I can move from activity 1 to activity 2? In the previous class I've discussed. In order to move from activity 1 to activity 2, what we have to do? Students? In order to move from activity 1 to activity 2? How to move from activity 1 to activity 2? I need your answers. We need to create intents. That's very, very important. It's a good question you're asking in your exam. Okay. I need to create intents. By using intents, what we can do, we can move from activity 1 to activity 2. All right. That's very, very important. Anyhow, let me discuss this complete code. Okay. Let us move the code. So I'm having a two files. I'm having a two files. That's the question says. So this is the output of my program. This is the output. Can you see the screen, students? So it looks like. You see that? So see that? So once user is clicking this parse XML data, okay, the control jumps from activity 1. This is my activity 1. I'll move from activity 1 to activity 2. In activity 2, what I'm trying to do, I'm going to display the data which is present in my XML document. Okay. Now this is first one. Next, the same thing again. This first output, this is one output. In second output, again, I'm trying to click on this button. Once I click on this button, I'll be moving from activity 1 to activity 2. And in this activity 2, you see that I'm trying to display the JSON data. Here I'm trying to pass JSON data. Here I'm trying to pass XML data. Right now, first let us discuss about how to pass this XML data. How to pass this XML data. Let me clear all my drawings. I hope you know this designing part. Yes. I think how to create this, I think, these two can be created using buttons. These two can be created using buttons. I think you know this, right? Now, how to create this? In order to create this, you need to use text view. You need to use text view. You should use text view. Using text view, what you can do, you can create this label, right? So now let me go to this Java part. That is dynamic part. That is once I click this button, what should happen? Once I click this button, I should move to the second activity. After moving to the second activity, I need to display this XML data. So now let us discuss this. Now let us discuss this. So let me clear my drawings. Let me minimize this. Yeah. Let me scroll up. Yeah. Program begins here. Okay, the program begins here. So let me draw the diagram. I'm having two buttons, right? Just button 1. This is XML. This button 1 is going to pass the XML, and this button 2 is going to pass this JSON. This button is going to pass this JSON. Okay. Yeah. Now, so what I should do, I think you know that in Java file, first you need to find the corresponding button. I think you know this. Find view by ID, right? So I think you know this, students, you know this, right? or.id.button. I think this, this all thing I've discussed. Okay. Now, once I click this button, what I need to display the corresponding data which is present in my XML document. In order to do that, what I should do for this button, I need to register a listener. How to register a listener? By using set on click listener. And similarly for JSON also, once I click this button, what should happen? And an action should take place. That is, you should go to the second activity, and this in second activity, I need to display the data which is present in my JSON file. So therefore, for these two buttons, what I should do, I need to add a listener. What listener I need to add it? I need to add an on-click listener. Okay, that's what I've added this. I think all these things I think I've discussed in my previous class in detail, right? I think you must know all these things, right? So what is this ID? Button parse XML. What is this ID? I think you must know this. So you see that when I'm creating, so that's what I said. Yeah. See that we need to create two buttons, right? What is the ID of this button? The ID of this button is nothing but parse underscore XML. This is the ID of this button. ID of this button. Okay, we have a button called XML document, right? XML. What is the ID? Is the ID, right? Is the ID. And similarly, what's the ID? You see that I have created one more button. We need to create two buttons. This is a second button. The second button, what's the ID of the second button? Button underscore parse JSON. Okay. Now these two buttons, what I should do? I need to refer inside my Java code. How to refer inside my Java code? In order to refer inside my Java code, I should use find view by ID. That is r.button underscore parse XML. So it is referring to XML button. It is referring to XML button. And similarly, you see that r.id.button underscore parse JSON. It is referring to JSON button. So this statement is referring to JSON. Button. Okay, for these two buttons, what I should do, I need to register a listener. How to register a listener? That's what I said. In order to register a listener, we should use set on click listener. So you see that for these two buttons, I'm trying to register a listener. So once I click this button, what I should do, I need to process the data. So how I can process the data? In order to process data, I need to write a corresponding on-click method, right? I need to write a corresponding on-click method. And inside this on-click method, I'm checking whether I'm checking whether I've clicked this XML button. I'm checking whether user has clicked this XML button or whether a user has clicked this JSON button. I need to check, okay? I'm checking whether which button I've clicked it. Okay, that's what I'm checking. V dot equals button parse JSON. It means that I'm checking whether I've clicked a JSON button. Okay. If I'm clicking a JSON button, what I should do? If I'm clicking this JSON button, I should move from this is my first activity. This is my first activity. From this first activity, what I should do? I should move to the second activity. I should move to the second activity. So how to move from activity 1 to activity 2? In not to move from activity 1 to activity 2, we need to create an intent. That's what I said. We need to create an intent. Using intents, what I can do? I can move from activity 1 to activity 2. So let us assume that I'm trying to click okay, fine. So let us assume that I click this XML button. If I'm clicking this XML button, the first condition is failed. Okay, next I'm checking else if v dot equals button parse XML. Yes, I click this. So once I click this, what I am trying to do, I'm trying to create an intent. Why I'm creating an intent? I'm creating an intent in order to move from the first activity, not move from first activity to second activity. So inside this intent, I have passed two arguments. This refers to current activity, that is in this. So from this activity, from first activity, I should move to the second activity. So this indicates that I'm in first activity. In first activity, I need to move to the second activity. And what is this view activity? View activity is nothing but it is the name of my second activity. View activity is nothing but it is the name of my second activity. Okay, so while I'm moving from, I think last class I've discussed, while moving from activity 1, while moving from activity 1 to activity 2, I'm moving from activity 1 to activity 2. While moving from activity 1 to activity 2, I want to pass some additional data. So in order to pass this additional data, you need to use this put extra. Okay, I want to pass some additional data. What data I'm trying to pass? I'm trying to pass that mode equal to 2. I'm trying to pass an additional value called mode equal to 2, right? So while moving from activity 1 to activity 2, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to pass some additional data, that is mode equal to 2. How to add this additional data? We need to use this put extra, that is mode comma 2. Okay, next what I should do? Next, I need to call this start activity, and I have discussed this. What is the start activity? So once you call this start activity, then only the second activity will be displayed on your screen. On your screen, if you want to display the second activity, it is mandated that you need to call this start activity. You need to call this start activity, right? And similarly, if I click this JSON button, I'm checking if e dot equals parse button JSON. Yes, if this is true, you see that in both cases, in case 1 and case 2, if I'm clicking this button, what I should do? I should move to the second activity. Similarly, in here also, in case 2 also, if I'm clicking this button, again, I should move to the second activity. So that's why you see that the code is repeating, but only one changed. Okay, with respect to parse JSON, I'm trying to pass a mode value called 1. But here you see that I'm trying to pass a mode value called 2. So why I'm passing this mode value 1 and 2? Because in activity 2, I should know which button the user has clicked. Okay, I think, see, this is my activity 1. Let me clear all this stuff. See, why I'm passing this activity, you should understand why I'm passing. See, while I'm moving from activity 1 to activity 2, this is 1, this is 2. While moving from activity 1 to activity 2, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to pass a mode value. Why I'm passing this mode value? Because in activity 2, I should know whether users clicked, this XML button, or whether users click this JSON button. How I know? Users click which button? So in order to determine that, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to pass this extra information. So if I received a mode value called 1, if I received a mode value called 1 in activity 2, it means that I clicked a JSON button. Okay. Similarly, when I'm clicking this button, if I receive a mode value called 2, it means that I have clicked an XML button in my first activity. So therefore, these two extra information has been added. So I finished with first file. If you have any questions, you can ask. You have any questions, students? So why you have taken only one? See, like the value can be any value of your choice. The value can be, you can take it 100 also. It can be any integer value. It can take any integer value. Okay. So right now, with respect to my code, okay, with respect to my code, this one, this value one indicates that I have clicked a button called parse JSON. If the value is 2, I have clicked a button called parse XML button. It can take any value, students, but both values should not be same. It should be different value. Here you can take it 100, you can take it 2, or here you can take it 200. It can be any value. It can be any value, but it should be only an integer value, right? Yeah, fine. Now, I hope you understood now. Okay. So this is my document. I have two buttons. One is parse XML. One more is parse JSON. Okay. So if I'm clicking this button, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to send a mode value. If mode value is 2, means I click this XML document. If mode value is 1, it means that I click this JSON button, right? Now let us move to the second activity. Now let us discuss about this second activity. So let me clear my drawings. And what is the name of my second activity? I have taken the name of my second activity as view activity. Students, the name can be any name of your choice. It is not mandated that the name should be view activity only. The name can be any name of your choice. You can write the name as Sham activity. It can be any name, but don't take a Sham activity or Sharon activity. Okay, try to pick a meaningful activity name, right? The name of the activity can be any name, right? Now let us move to this second activity. And what's the name of my second activity? That is view activity, right? View activity. Yeah. Yeah. Now let us move to this Java file, view activity. This is my view activity, right? This is my second file. This is my second activity. Okay. Now how to design this? You should understand the layout of this design. Okay, the layout of this design. So as you know that every Java file will have a corresponding XML file. Every Java file will have a corresponding XML file. You need to understand the layout of this second activity. How a second activity looks like is how it looks like. It's my second activity. The layout of this. Here you have some text that is parsing XML data in JSON. That's heading you'll be having. Then here you'll be having XML data. You're having a text view called XML data, and you're having a text view called JSON data. Okay, and under this, you're having lowercase. Let me change my color pen. Under this, you'll be having XML data, and under this you're having JSON data. Okay. Now this is my first activity, and this is my second activity. This is the design. This is how the design of second activity looks like. I repeat, this is how the design of a second activity looks like. Okay, everything. See all these items. So let me put a tick mark. Let me take tick mark here. So this, everything is a text view. Everything is a text view. Nothing is there. Everything is a text view. That's very, very important, right? No buttons. In second activity, there's no buttons. Everything is a text view. All right, students, everything is a text view, right? Now here I'm having two buttons. One is XML, and one more is JSON. Okay. Now what I said, if I click this button, I should move to the second activity. It means from activity 1, I should move to the second activity. So once I move to the second activity, in second activity, what I should do, I need to replace this XML data. At this XML data, I need to display the entire result. At this, I need to display the entire result. Similarly, if I click this JSON, I should move from activity 1 to activity 2. So once I move to the activity 2, at this blue line, that JSON data will be replaced with the entire result. That is how it comes. Okay. So if I'm clicking this XML, I'm trying to send a mode value called 2. If I click this JSON, I'm trying to send a mode value called 1. Okay. You may ask, sir, why you're taken mode? Why you're taken mode? See, actually, it can be any name of your choice. Okay. Mode means on and off. That's what it is. Probably you can take on.